Good morning, everyone. Welcome. I am the Reverend Christine Dance, and I am honored to serve as the minister at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix. Welcome to our online worship service. Welcome home. In this time when we are physically distant, we believe it is an act of love to worship online and be together in this way. Welcome to our service. For those who are joining us for the very first time, a special welcome to you. The Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix strives to be a spiritual community for our time, focused on diverse theological perspectives, radical inclusion, and knowing that issues of justice and equity shape everything we do. With a special awareness for those who have been historically marginalized, we welcome all, of every race, class, ethnicity, immigration status, sexual orientation, gender identity, religious background, mental and physical ability, and disability. We welcome your whole self, your family, however you define it, into our worship as we build a community of caring and courage and hope. Before we begin our service, I want to note that we have our memorial candle out. I want to let you all know that longtime member William or Bill Parker died on May 7th at Friendship Village Healthcare Center. He's been there since 2017. Bill was a long and loyal member of UUCP. He served on the board, he volunteered in the office, he was a greeter, and he was active in many activities, including the hiking group, which was one of his favorites. He was a warm and loving presence in this congregation, and we will miss him dearly. Bill's first wife died in 1997, and since 2002, he has been with Betty Saylor, another UUCP member. I've been in conversation with Betty, and we are looking to have a memorial service for him in September around his birthday. Please join me in lighting a candle of remembrance for Bill, and may his memory be a blessing to all of us. Today, we have a very special service. Each year, I hope to do a service on a piece of music, using that music and lyric as sacred text for the day. You all might remember last year's service on Jason Mraz's song, Shine, because a lot of you still bring it up to me. And I hope you enjoy these services as much as I do. This service is centered around Vienna Teng's song, Level Up. We're going to be exploring this song in several different ways, and in what might be a personal highlight of my ministry so far, we are lucky enough to have Vienna Teng herself here with us to talk about it later in the service. Our opening words this morning are from this wonderful song. Begin again, dynamite the dam on the flow. Your body feels the tock, tock, tock of time as it hammers. Lord, we are all cinders from a fire burning long ago. But here it is, the knock, knock, knock of your own heart that matters. If you are afraid, give more. If you are alive, give more now. Everybody here has seams and scars. So what? Level up. I invite you to grab a chalice or a candle from your home as we recite the covenant and light our chalice together as my wife Karen lights our chalice here in the sanctuary. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, and to share our strength in fellowship. Thus do we covenant.
Thank you. Hi, let me introduce our worship team. I am your worship associate, Joseph Benesh. We have with us our magical music director, Benji Messer. Our communications and technology coordinator is the bomb Becca Brilly. Our Zoom operator today is the glorious Glenn Lockwood. Our chat chaplain is the courageous Carrie Lifshitz. And today, as you have heard, we have a very, very special guest, the vivacious Vienna Teng, the composer and performer of this song, and we get to talk to her later today in this service. So today is amazing and awesome and fun already. So feel free to chat with us in the chat box. Use the chat to communicate with participants, which is the panelists, with everybody. And our service is automatically captioned to be hopefully more accessible to all. As always, we invite you to check the UUCP, check out UUCP on social media, and use the hashtag UUAnywhere. There is much to do in our community, as many of you know, which you can find in our newsletter, which is called Compass. So make that your one newsletter, like delete your TMZ and all those other ones. Make Compass your newsletter that you go to. You can sign up for that at phoenixuu.org. This is your must read information. You really don't need to know more about Arizona politics. Just read Compass instead. Here's a few highlights. I say that because I work in politics a little bit. So here's a few highlights from that you may not have seen and that we want you to pay attention to. In less than 24 hours from now, we have the morning meditation, which happens on Monday mornings at 8:30. That's with Katie Resendez. It is on Zoom, so you can still be in your actual pajamas. You don't have to move into your work pajamas for that. That's every Monday at 8:30 a.m. There's People Parenting on Tuesday, also with Katie, but that's at 6:30 p.m. in the evening. Jez and Chris are also on there. Wednesdays at noon, lunch with the minister. There's always something fun to discuss. And if you have not yet had a chance to just to hang out and talk with Reverend Christine, she's pretty magical. So you should do that because she's awesome. And Fridays, another one is UU Kids in the Desert. This is for the K through fifth graders. So also I wanted to let you know that after that, a good reception, after a good reception, having a good reception from having our pastoral care room after last month, our lay pastoral care associates will be having a pastoral care room once or twice a month. Today is one of those days. So if you need someone to talk to about just about anything, that's the space for you. Please feel free to come to coffee hour and then go into the pastoral care room. It's really just for you and your heart and anything that you're holding in there. They are there to be helpful, and they are very caring listeners. Offering. Our offering is being collected virtually, just like our service. We ask you to be generous, and I work in the nonprofit world, and we always say, give what is meaningful. So, whatever is meaningful for you in your life, whether it's the way that we're inclusive, the music. Thankfully, they don't let me sing. Actually, they would let me sing because they're inclusive, but they don't want me to. I don't want me to sing because I want them to do better. Whatever is meaningful for you, that's what I would ask for you to give. I already signed up my annual pledge, Reverend Christine. I signed up. It's already in process. But we ask you to be generous in your giving support to the mission of our beloved community. You can, excuse me, you can text UUCP at 73256. Again, all this stuff is in the chat, so you don't have to pay attention to anything I say. All that good stuff is in the chat. You can donate through the website. You can send a check. If you see Reverend Christine on the street, just give her like a wad of cash. We'll take it whichever way you can give. And if you haven't set your pledge in for the next fiscal year, like I have, please do so as soon as you can. It really helps out the congregation be able to do their work, be able to do like the nuts and bolts of our work. And again, you can find all those links in the chat. For all of you that do give to the campaign in whatever way you're able, we are so So grateful. And here's a reminder that our congregational, again, I work in politics, not congressional, meeting will be coming up in less than a month on June 13th. And with a message about one of those items on the agenda, we have a representative from our Board of Trustees, Jenny Jones, here. And I think there is a video.
The UUCP Board of Trustees unanimously endorses the adoption of the 8th principle for our congregation and urges you to vote for it in our upcoming meeting on June 13th. The board thanks all who attended the discussions around the 8th principle and what it means to us as a congregation. We value your input and recognize your concerns. Many of you expressed reservations about the wording. We heard many variations of these questions. Gosh, it seems a little wordy and difficult to conceptualize. Since it calls us to action, it doesn't seem to fit with the other principles. These are valid questions, but here's the thing. Despite our sincerely held beliefs embodied in our 7 principles, we have discovered that in our largely white congregations and the UUA, systematic racism continues to exist by default. As much as we believe in the inherent dignity and worth of all people, many of us see it from the perspective of our white privileged backgrounds. By not proactively holding ourselves accountable and not centering the marginalized races in our community, we continue to marginalize them. Yes, the 8th principle is different from the other 7 principles. But isn't that one of the many wonderful things that sets UUs apart from other religions? We are an evolving, dynamic religion. We have the freedom and the responsibility to revise our principles as we continue to grow and learn. We have the latitude to amend our beliefs and stay relevant in an increasingly diverse and evolving society. By adopting the 8th principle, we are simply saying that we not only believe in dismantling racism in our congregation and our society, but we are going to act on this belief and hold ourselves accountable because it is that important. It is very possible that the wording of the 8th principle will be updated by the UUA before being adopted. We can vote to adapt our wording to match it in the future. In the meantime, we feel it is important to adopt the 8th principle in spirit. The UUCP Board of Trustees believes that the adoption of the 8th principle will help to make us more radically inclusive to our siblings of color and help us evolve as a congregation into a more welcoming community for our time. We hope that you, as a congregation, will join us and vote to adopt the 8th principle on June 13th. Thank you.
Thanks, Jenny, for recording that. I agree. Good morning, everyone. For our opening hymn, I wanted to lead an Israeli peace song. I'm a Jew. I've been thinking a lot about the recent violence in Israel and in Gaza, and I wanted to say something about it. It's been so painful. And I think it's so easy to feel defeated by violence like that, to feel like we've seen it all before and it's not going to end well. Every round of fighting adds another layer of hostility and fear that makes it more difficult. But I want to offer you a little hope that things are a little different now than we've seen before in Israel-Palestine. What I've heard from folks in Israel is that in 2014, which was the last super brutal round of fighting in Gaza, very few people went into the streets to protest because if you did that, you might be attacked. And last week, even before the missiles from Gaza, even before the Israeli airstrikes, there were people in the street protesting the police violence and the evictions of Palestinians. And since the missiles and bombing started, throughout Israel, there have been Jews and Palestinians together in the streets demanding peace and protesting. We haven't seen that before. This is different. Also, last Saturday, there were demonstrations against the occupation, not just in Gaza and in the West Bank and in Israel, but in cities around the world in partnership with Jewish allies in those cities. Here in the United States, we have a strong segment of the Democratic Party that's calling for a new approach that's supportive of both Israel and Palestinians. There is even, I think, some willingness to speak publicly about the role of U.S. policies in the violence of that region. So all of that is new, all of that is different and hopeful. And I just wanted to offer you a little of that hope. As hard won as it may be. So let's sing Olam Chesed Yibaneh, which has been used in a lot of protests against the occupation and which we've sung here before. The Hebrew lyrics, Olam Chesed Yibaneh, mean build the world with love, or from love in Hebrew. Lyrics will be in the chat. Feel free to sing with me. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, di-di-dai, dai, dai, dai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, die, 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 die. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, di die, 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 die. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, di die, 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 die. Let's do the English now. I will build this world from love. Dee die, 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 die. And will you build this world from love? Dee die, 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 die. 'Cause if we build this world from love, dee die, 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 then God will build this world from love. Dee die, 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 die. Back to the Hebrew. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, dee die, 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 die. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, dee die, 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 die. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, dee die, 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 die. Again. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, dee die, 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 die. And let's do the English once more. I will build this world from love. Dee die, 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 die. Will you build this world from love? Dee die, 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 die. 'Cause if we build this world from love, dee die, 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 die. Then God will build this world from love. Dee die, 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 die. Thanks all.
Thank you, Benji. So today is about leveling up, and my reflection, about leveling up. And for me, it's the way I kind of use that in my life is to kind of picture the outcomes. And by outcomes, I mean, how do I want to feel at the end of the day? Sometimes it's sort of work related, like what are one or two things I want to get done today? Although sometimes that's like, chores, or things I want to, get done around the house. And this is normal for a lot of people to like kind of, again, picture the outcomes. Like at the end of the day, I want to have done this or picture this. And there were times in my life when I did that a lot more, and there were times when I've done less of that. But during COVID, I honestly, I kind of forgot how to picture the end of the day. The whole world shifted, obviously, and my sector in particular, the arts, was mostly shut down. So I didn't know how to picture the day when all of my friends and colleagues were unable to work and unable to go into their place or have their routines. And I want to be clear, artists did not stop. Arts organizations stopped. We couldn't have performances and people in museums and stuff. But as we all know, major shout out to artists who continued creating despite COVID, creating music and painting in their living rooms. So the artists didn't stop. You can't stop artists. But obviously it couldn't be seen and shared in the historically normal ways. But for me, another part of leveling up, personally, I'm actually kind of like working on this right now. It was funny, this topic came up because for me right now, I'm trying to be on social media less. I'm not going to delete any accounts or anything, but I've decided for me, it's not good to look at social media every day. What am I going to do instead? I'm going to choose and kind of plan to sit quietly and look out the window or just take a short walk. Now, don't worry, for those of you who know me, I'm still going to share pictures of my family and sunsets and hiking and stuff. But that may be it for a little while. And now, to also be fair, for some people, leveling up might mean going on social media more, for work, or if you want to, find an old friend. So, as with all tools, social media is not the enemy, although there are some really bad players in that world. But it's, again, how do you want to use it? And are you choosing to use it in a way that levels yourself up? The last thing I want to say on leveling up is actually going to be a little bit contrarian, because sometimes it's also good not to level up. It can be perceived in a very sort of Western capitalist idea that we have to, make more money, get the next promotion, have more friends, physically or virtually. And so I just want to be, make space for that too, because maybe the level that you're at, or the level that you were yesterday or last month or last year, is just right, because you are just right. And as Reverend Christine said, today's service is centered around Vienna Teng and her amazing song, Leveling Up. To be able to sing well, that would be leveling up for me. So I'm going to listen to her very closely because she's amazing. We get to enjoy this song a few more times today, but we want to introduce it with a live version of the song with the artist Alex Wong. And this is where Vienna also gets to explain some of her thinking with us. So enjoy and level up, whatever that means for you. Enjoy.
This was requested as well, and I think it also involves you. Sorry. I'm just going to keep you up here if that's okay.
I know, I'm trying to get the hint from the intro, not getting it yet.
This is a pep talk song that it's in 7. Should I just keep talking?
We really screwed up not bringing that glockenspiel, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, we sure did. So this is a pep talk song that I wrote while I was a graduate student studying climate change. And at one point, the professor basically said, "How many of you guys think that we're doomed?" And everybody basically raised their hand. Or actually, I think he actually said, "How many of you guys think we're going to make it?" I think that was the way he phrased it, and nobody raised their hand. And then he said, "So why are you all here?" And I think all of us wrestled with that question and kind of continue to. And I actually recently saw on Twitter, this is the ego thing that I do, I occasionally check who has mentioned me on Twitter. I confess I do that. And it turns out that there was an article on a website called Vox.com that someone had written about this whole new, not new, but there's a kind of uptick in the kinds of science fiction and fantasy that are being written in a style that is called hope punk. And basically, the idea of it is, it's as distinct from a couple of other genres. There's a genre called, grimdark, which is sort of like the idea that like everything is horrible and dystopic. And Game of Thrones maybe kind of falls generally in that category. And then there's another one sort of considered like noble bright, which is the idea that there's a heroic person who was always destined, to come save everything. And hope punk is neither of those things. The idea is that things may in fact be hopeless or look hopeless. They may look like things are going to be really bad, but it's actually, in the end, ordinary people who decide to keep fighting, who decide to keep imagining a better future, who ultimately are able to persist and to create that future. And when I was fascinated reading that article because I felt like that's exactly the sort of conclusion I came to answer my professor. It's not that I think that we'll make it or that I trust we will make it, but I believe that all of us continuing to imagine the future that is possible is completely essential, and that there's no hero coming to save us, but it's going to be all of us, one of us, one at a time, coming together for that. And so it was a particularly kind of spooky, fun thing to see in this article. They're like, here are some examples of hope punk stuff. And this song was one of them. So there's a song called Level Up. That's not the song you thought we were doing.
Go ahead. I'll catch up.
You had that look like, this is a song called what?
Actually didn't hear. I feel like I heard it wrong. So just go ahead and start.
Okay.
I'll be there in a second.
You're going to embody hope punk right now.
Okay. There's
Just
no
an ordinary,
hero.
yeah. There's no hero coming to save the day. It's up to you, man. So come out. You have been waiting long enough.
Keep doing what you're doing. That's what happens when you write too many songs in 7.
So Alex, come on out. You have been waiting long enough. You're done with all the talk, with nothing on the table. It's time to come on out. There won't be no sign from above. You'll only hear the knock, knock, knock of your own heart, a signal. If you are afraid, come out. If you are awake, come out. Come out and level up. Begin again. Dynamite the dam on the flow. Your body feels the talk, talk, talk of time as it hammers. Lord, we all cinders from a fire burning long ago. But here it is, the knock, knock, knock of your own heart that matters. If you are afraid, come forth. If you are alone, come forth now. Everybody here has loved and lost. So level up and love again. Call it any name you need. Call it your 2.0, your rebirth, whatever. So long as you can feel it all. So long as all your floors are flung wide. Call it your day number 1 and the rest of forever. If you
you are afraid, give more. If you are alive, give more now. Everybody here has seams and scars. So what? Level up. Bring your wonder. Yes, you are only one. No, it is not enough. But if you lift your eyes, I am your brother. And this is all we need. And this is where we start. This is the day we greet. This is the day, no other. Alex Wong, catching up and then some.
Awesome. Anyone else have goosebumps? So lovely to see such great collaboration too. It is the time in our service where we share the joys and sorrows in our community. Being together, it is good to share and to support each other and to connect. Please write any joys or sorrows of what you want our community to know about. Please put your name at the beginning so I know who it is. And if you want it to be private only to the panelists and not to be shared aloud, please put the word private at the beginning and send it just to the panelists. As I wait for joys and sorrows to show up in our service, I ask you to send more prayers for Katie Boxley, who is still struggling with lung problems, and also to Sally Boyd and her family, who are concerned and worried as well. And to Betty Saylor, who is struggling with Bill's loss and is picturing how to recreate her world without that. I turn now to the joys and sorrows of our community. Pat Reed says, a joy. I attended my grandson's graduation in Tennessee last weekend. How lovely that must have been, Pat. Oh, Joan Meyer. Joan Meyer says, my husband Bill died peacefully in his sleep on Friday evening. She is grateful that he is out of pain. Joan, our love and our sympathies go to you. I know that this has been a long struggle, sending so much love to you. Katie Klinger says, a joy. I have a job interview next week. Ann Lackey says, 4.5 years ago, I was treated for ocular melanoma. Frequent checkups produce anxiety, but Friday's checkup in with the specialist in Tucson went well. The tumor is now undetectable. And that is terrific news. Terrific news. We celebrate with you. And we have a message from Christine Carmonas, who says, I am watching this on the computer that Bonnie White gave to me, and through Skyroam, that your generous ministerial discretionary fund helped fund. Christine, we are so thrilled to see you on the computer. A joy from Nigel Perez. I got to try on a hang gliding harness. How fun. From Brad C. I am waiting on some final lab tests relative to a lesion found in my lung. I will likely be having a biopsy in the coming weeks. Your thoughts and prayers are appreciated. They are with you, Brad. From Bunny Hodis, a joy. Lovely to see all the wonderful faces at the UUCP Program Council yesterday and to hear about all the activity that is happening at UUCP virtually. Absolutely. From Joseph, a joy. My niece Kendra graduated from high school this past Monday. Special thanks to UUCP for providing a yard sign and sending her love in spirit and in person. It was such a joy to see Kendra graduate. Big moment. From the Stevenson Browns, joy for Chloe's high school graduation, Leo's first COVID vaccine, and preparations for a year of adventure in Finland for all of us. That is so much excitement in one joy. I don't even know how we contain that. Congratulations, Chloe. We are so proud of you. And hooray, we can't wait to hear about all of your adventures in Finland. A joy from Jess Hunt. I'm able to join this wonderful service from Florida in the afternoon. Welcome, Jess. We're so glad you're here. From Sunshine Watson, a joy. We got to hug our family for the first time in over a year yesterday. Best hug ever. From John Reed Maffeo, a joy. Such a fabulous musical prayer, message, and lesson. Wow. That article on which she based her song is so right on. How cool. And let's see if there's any more. Laurel says, thank you for such a fabulous musical prayer, message, lesson. Wow. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was a message from Laurel who said about the fabulous prayer. John Reed Maffeo says, joy all in the congregation who have reached out to me as my family grieves the loss of a loved one. You are in our hearts and our prayers, John Reed. And from Annalise, Lalana, and Shaylin, that joy that all three of them got their first COVID shot. Such a joy to see some of our 12 to 16-year-olds getting their shots, their vaccines. Hooray for science. So at this point, I invite you into a time of meditation and prayer. I invite you to center yourselves, lower your shoulders, stretch out your body, connect in with your physical sense. Take a few deep breaths. Join me in this prayer. Spirit of togetherness, Spirit of love, we give thanks for our lives and this opportunity to be together. We acknowledge that as we strive to be the very best humans we can possibly be, we are all in very different situations. We honor the full range of human experience. For those who are coming out of the pandemic and stepping their toes into the world of socializing, we wish them safety and joy and the wonder of being together. For those who are still staying isolated out of an abundance of concern, we wish you patience and the knowledge that you are not alone. For those who are vaccinated, we give thanks for the miracle of science, biology, the sacrament. It's a sacrament of the vaccine, which will save millions of lives. For those who are not able to get vaccinated yet, our children and those for whom the vaccine is not safe, we see you, we honor you, we will not forget you as we go through these next months. For those who are looking at life in this next stage and are nervous about what it will look like, who may want to wear their masks forever, and for whom social anxiety is ever more complex than it ever was, we send you patience and love and urging you to be gentle with yourself. For those without resources, jobs with time off, or internet, we remember that you are all of us, for until we are all treated equally, none of us are free. For those who are mourning the many losses, we recognize your grief and we grieve with you. We have all been in this pandemic together, but we have each had our own experiences. And as we all together level up to this next stage of this process, whatever that might be for you, may we do so with kindness and empathy and imagination. May we not assume that our experience is everyone's experience, and may we all level up to a greater plane of understanding, compassion, and justice. So might it be. Please join me in a moment of silence. Amen. And blessed be. And Ashe. We have one more sorrow from our music director, Benji Messer.
Many of you know Fred Garza, his wife Susanna, and their daughter Janie. The Garzas are Unitarian Universalists from Texas who lived in Phoenix and attended our congregation from 2013 to 2015. In those 2 short years, they made very strong connections in our community, and that's why some of you may know them. Susanna had leadership in our children's ministry, and Fred was very involved in music. Before the first year was out, he was leading a country rock band at UUCP called The Dissidents. And Fred has been struggling with stage 4 cancer and severe liver disease. And last week, he and his family decided to stop treatment and enter hospice at home. It was a shock to some of us who had worked with him, and some of the UUCP musicians and the Dissidents very quickly recorded a video during the last few days to let him know that he was loved. And Susanna and Fred and Janie said they watched it and they loved it, and it made them smile, and they gave us permission to share it with you in case it makes you smile. So here it is.
Oh, oh, we give thanks, for this precious day, we're all gathered here, and those far away, for this time we've shared, with love and care. Oh, we give thanks, for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here, and those far away, for this time we share, with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. So I'm gonna lift my brother up, he is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my brother up, he is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my brother up, he is not heavy. And if I don't I don't lift him up, if I can't lift him up, yeah, I will fall down. So we're gonna lift my brother up, he is not heavy. We're gonna lift my brother up, he is not heavy. We're gonna lift our brother up, he is not heavy. And if I can't lift him up, if I can't lift him up, if we don't lift him up, we'll fall down. So lean on me when you're not strong, and I can be your friend. I help you carry on. Lord, it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Just call on me, brother, with me a friend. We all need somebody to lean on. We just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. For it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear, can't carry, I'm right up the road, yeah, I'll share the load. If you just call me, lean on me when you're not strong, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Oh, it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Somebody to lean
Love you, friend.
on. So I'm gonna lift my brother up, he is heavy. So we gonna lift our brother up, he is heavy. We gonna lift our brother up, he is not heavy. And if we don't lift him up, if we don't lift him up, if we don't lift him up, we will fall down.
Thank you, dissidents. And we love you, Fred. So let me talk a little bit about Level Up, this song that I have loved and used in so many contexts. So Level Up, the title of this sacred text that we're going to be looking at, this song by Vienna Teng, it's a gaming term. Now, I have no idea if Vienna meant it as a gaming term. We'll find that out in a little bit. But anyone who has played video games know that they come with a structural hierarchy of progress. You defeat the monster, you make the voyage, you collect the icons, and then you move up to the next level. It's a simple, understandable way to assess where you are in relationship to where you want to be. As gaming language, it has become more common. It's made it into our everyday vernacular, a moving to the next stage. So my beloveds, we are moving into the next stage of this pandemic, but also in how we human in this extraordinary time. Vienna Teng's song tells us that it is time to level up. She says what so many of us believe, There will be no sign from above. You'll only hear the knock, knock, knock of your own heart as a signal. She also says, begin again. Dynamite the dam on the flow. Your body feels the tock, tock, tock of time as it hammers. Lord, we are all cinders from a fire burning long ago, but here it is, the knock, knock, knock of your own heart that matters. Now, I need to be very clear about my interpretation of the come on out and don't be afraid language. Ms. Teng was not writing this in the pandemic, and I am not saying that it is time for all of us to come out and not be afraid. As Unitarian Universalists, we can look at this metaphorically, not literally. Some of you may be coming out, some of you may be staying in for months longer, but we are definitely entering a new phase of this pandemic. And we have the opportunity to determine what kind of people we want to be, what kind of community we want to create, and what kind of world we want to live in. And we have the unique, possibly a once in a lifetime opportunity to intentionally create this world as we recreate our lives after this disruptive time. We can intentionally go into this time and say, who do we want to be? Now, I want to be very clear about another things. If we go back to the gaming metaphor, many times you can level up by just spending time in the game, by just being. You don't have to do anything. To put a fine point on it, we have leveled up by just being and existing and surviving in this time together. We have felt worry, fear, and care together. You don't have to do anything extraordinary to level up. You've already done it. You are here. Congratulations, you have reached the next level. But I do believe that we have the opportunity as a religious community to level up right now, to be more of what we dream to be, to live how we wish the world would live, to be free how we wish all could be free. I am inviting you to look around your world and see if and how our society and our congregation are leveling up. Radical inclusion are beloved words of our vision statement. This is who we aspire to be. Reopening is an opportunity to live into that vision. We were not 100% accessible before the pandemic, and we will not be afterwards. But in looking as to when to reopen, we are centering those who are still on the margins. Our children under 12 who aren't eligible for the vaccine, and those who would be left out. This is an opportunity for how we see the world overall. Who are we centering? Is it the people who already have the access, the privilege, the opportunities? Or are we centering those on the margins? As we look at how our society opens up, I invite you to look at that from the perspective of who will be left out, who is being excluded from our community by our decisions. This is a great mindset to have overall if we are to be justice-centered. In this time, we have learned to be amazingly creative, to imagine totally new ways to do things, to band together and care for each other in ways that we could not have imagined before. In this congregation, we will never not have an online component ever again. We're going to be working hard to make sure that anyone who joins us online will continue to have a personal connection to our services. We don't know all the answers. We're going to exper-learn. That's my word. I hope that you all will exper-learn with me. We're going to experiment with something. We're going to learn from it. If we need to adjust, we will adjust. How can we use that creativity in other ways? To reimagine policing, perhaps, to rethink mental health after this time that has been straining for everyone. to reimagine how we think about borders, to reimagine community. There is one thing that we definitely know. It will take all of us, each and every one of us. In our own way, we are wanting to level up, to continue our journey through life, whatever that might be, wanting more for our community, wanting each day to be the kind of person that we know that we can be. The song says, if you are afraid, come forth. If you are alone, come forth now. Everyone here has loved and lost, so level up and love again. Call it any name you need. Call it your 2.0, your rebirth, whatever. So long as you can feel it all, so long as your doors are flung wide, call it your day number 1, the rest of forever. Whether leveling up for you means prioritizing your mental health, whether it means prioritizing those who you have missed the most, your family and your friends, whether it means recognizing what has really been most important for you and focusing on that, whether it is self-care, whether it is commitment to justice, whatever it is, we have the opportunity now to level up. I hope you will do that with us. And now, I cannot believe I'm saying these words, but we have the great honor of introducing the composer and performer of this amazing song, Vienna Teng. Vienna is a singer, a songwriter, an accomplished pianist. She's released 5 studio albums, 1 live album, and has toured internationally. And in addition, she's been a software engineer, and in the middle of her career also got an MBA and a master's in the School of Natural Resources and Environment at University of Michigan. So Vienna is coming to us from Washington, DC, and with her daughter, who was born the month before the pandemic shut down. So her first year of motherhood has been like many of those in our congregation. So we welcome you, Vienna. We are so, so glad that you're here with us. Welcome.
Oh, it is such a beautiful honor to be here and to sit here in contemplation and in celebration and community with all of you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So oh my goodness. And just so you all know, we told Vienna that we are a very multi-generational congregation, and we love children's sounds in our service. So we're so glad that your daughter can be here with you. So we would love to hear from you. We kind of talked about what this song means to us. What was the impetus for this song? What was your thinking when you wrote it?
Yeah, well, as in the intro of the song, when I performed it with Alex and didn't give him enough clues of what the song was that I was going to be playing. The seed of it was a climate change seminar that I was taking in graduate school. And definitely just kind of wrestling with the why am I here if we don't know whether this is something that can be solved in time. And a lot of us kind of going through these waves of, depression and paralysis or denial, and just figuring out what is another way to sit with all this, to get up every day. I have to say there were a few other inspirations for the song, one of which was while I was at the University of Michigan, a number of other students were getting very involved in the city of Detroit and the communities in Detroit, and really trying to bring the narratives of, there's a real kind of story of Detroit being this messed up, fallen city, that's dangerous and scary. And a lot of them said, look, we grew up there and there are amazing things happening there. And it's really actually more exciting than you would think. And so realizing that there were people that I had to learn from also, to make some of those, to learn some of the lessons of how do you actually move forward in a difficult time? Because if anyone's done that, it's the people of Detroit and the people who have been in Detroit a long time and have been part of the sort of resistance and even kind of rebuilding movements there. And the last one has to be actually my husband, who I met while I was in graduate school as well. And he was living in Detroit, was a long time, was born there, lived there for years, and was really kind of part of the community, trying to work on both sustainability and climate issues and racial justice issues. And I guess I had this perception that someone who would be involved in things like that would just be really kind of angry or, kind of up in arms all the time. And what I found was just this really joyful person who lit up at the sight of a Juneberry, when they became ripe on the trees, and loved nothing more than to, pull out a mandolin and, sing a song out of nowhere. And so I just falling in love with this person and what he's about, and just kind of this continual discovery of what it means to engage with the world was also one of the big reasons I managed to finish the song.
That's awesome. Love inspires us in amazing ways. My family's from Flint, so I know the resiliency of the community and how they have decided to own their story and their community. Thank you. So you've been at home with a baby in a pandemic. Here we are talking about it now. What does Level Up mean for you through this lens? It's obviously still climate change and all of those are relevant, but so many other things. What does it mean to you now?
That's a great question. I feel like over the past year, people have said, wow, having a baby during the pandemic, that must have been extra hard. And I feel like, well, it almost felt like in this weird, surreal way, like my whole world went into maternity leave with me in a way that I wouldn't wish on anyone, in terms of having their lives disrupted. Because for me, it was something that I knew was coming. And so in a way, I felt like I was, in some strange way, very fortunate, because I was cocooning. I was preparing to just kind of have my world get very small and very focused. And so in some ways, it was a strangely beautiful year on kind of the micro level. And I am, maybe there are some people in this congregation who share this experience of, I was so on the fence and so ambivalent about having a biological child of my own. My husband already has 2 wonderful kids, and so I'm this stepmom figure in their lives, and it's a wonderful role to play. And I just always wondered whether that was perfectly enough. And so it was with almost some trepidation and kind of like, well, here goes, that I decided to kind of step into becoming a biological mom, and just having no idea whether I would take to it, whether things would be super hard, whether things would be just not what I thought they were. And just fortunately for me, it's been this amazing discovery of what it means to just kind of focus and really get to know someone, and really say, I'm here to be in service to you. Who are you and who are you becoming? And let me pay attention to that and let go of whatever I might have preconceptions about what you're supposed to be or what you're supposed to be doing. And so that, I feel like, has been a really great leveling up for me, of just being constantly called to notice somebody as they really are, and to figure out, how do I support you as you really are? So that's one. And I think another is, we moved to DC right before the pandemic too, hoping to connect to a community. And of course, that's been extra challenging. But for me, recently, I've started to get just lightly involved in the mutual aid group that's here in DC. And for me, in addition to kind of also, again, lightly participating in the Black Lives Matter protests and some of the other movements that really kind of swelled last year, I feel like as a person coming from really relative privilege and shelteredness, I'd always supported a lot of these causes kind of in theory and with my checkbook, but never really kind of stepped into it and was just a person with other people kind of working side by side. And for me, it's been really eye-opening and wonderful, and hard in some ways and beautiful in other ways, to just kind of be in this mutual aid group where it's just literally one person showing up for another, one day at a time. And just the things that I've learned about, a lot of my preconceptions are wrong. A lot of the things that I kind of idealize are not so, a lot of the things turn out to be a lot less monolithic and, more complicated and more wonderfully surprising sometimes than I think. And so that's been one of the ways I'm trying to level up now too.
That's awesome. That's amazing. What an awesome, and I see the connections between those two. Like, I think that we've all been a little bit more vulnerable during this time. We've been a lot more human. There's this idea that, we're not perfect. We don't have all of our things together. We're going through this life, the best that we can in this. And I love the idea of seeing each person as an individual. That you're doing that with your family. You're also doing that through the mutual aid. What does this one person need? What can I do as one person? And that connects me, that line in your song of, we cannot do everything, but we are one. We are not everything, but we are one person. And what can we do? Whether that's fully seeing somebody or helping somebody the way that they need to be helped.
Yeah, I remember writing the line after, so that there's that one part in the song, yes, you're only one, no, it is not enough, but, and I just remember that just blank page sitting after that but for the longest time, like, but
comes
what?
After the
like,
but?
Okay, so we're not enough, but like, but what? And so, it's not gender inclusive, obviously, the way that I wrote it, but it's like, but if you lift your eyes, I am your brother, meaning, if we all kind of just take this one thing at a time, we can do this, or let's do this.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I love that. It's like, no, it is not enough. And I think that's something that we struggle with as Unitarian Universalists. We talk about, we see, the racial disparities, we see the immigration issues, we see all, and it can be so overwhelming. Like, I can't do all of these things, but what can we do? And even if that's just seeing somebody. So I'm wondering if other people have used this song in other ways that have surprised you, or have given it different layers of meaning for you as well.
Yes, I think I've been so honored that there are different like musical ensembles who've covered it, some choirs who have made it, part of their repertoire, which is amazing. There's actually a Canadian, I think, TV show. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the name, but there's a Canadian TV show about just like genderqueer, people living in both among themselves and like, in the wider community, kind of the dynamics that come about that. I think it's a comedy, a fun show. And Level Up is their theme song, I think because of, So Come Out.
Yeah.
So that's been really fun. Most recently, actually, I was really honored to hear that there's a podcast of two Asian American women who have been just sort of talking about, AAPI issues and just kind of their interpretation of different events happening, just sort of processing a lot of that, and also books and music that they've been falling in love with. And Level Up is the sort of the play in, play out song of their podcast too. So,
oh my gosh. That's awesome.
It's really, really fun to hear that sort of thing.
Yeah, it must just be a very cool feeling to see your art used in different ways. And you're in a worship service at a congregation in Phoenix. Who would know?
It's really crazy. Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, and just beyond like kind of those sort of maybe higher profile or more like communal or public things, just sometimes people will just say like, I really love putting in Level Up, when I go for a run or when I feel like, it's time for me to just be my better self, for the next 30 minutes. So I love that the sort of pep talk song I wrote for myself to kind of remind myself, like a musical sort of post-it note in the corner of my brain, like can be that for other people.
Yeah, well, it certainly has been for me. And I have probably shared it with over 100 people in different small groups that I've been in, and it's been such an inspiration. So I can't tell you how much this means to us for you to be here. I know that everyone else has joined it. By the way, you sound just like a Unitarian Universalist. There's several great congregations there. But we really appreciate you being here, for your insight, your amazing music, your work in the world. We wish you many blessings with your family, your mutual aid group, and on all that you are doing. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. And thank you for welcoming me to this, and for even giving me the honor of having this be a text that everyone would take a moment to sit with. And so thank you. Thank you, Reverend Christine, and thank you to all of you.
Many blessings to you. And so now we're going to share the official video which also has so many stories intertwined into it. It's one of the most beautiful music videos that I've ever seen. And hoping that you all can level up in the days and the weeks and months, knowing that you are powerful and you are special just how you are. Thank you so much, Vienna.
Thank you.
So come out. You have been waiting long enough. You're done with all the talk, 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 with nothing on the table. It's time to come on out. There will be no sign from above. You'll only hear the knock, knock, knock of your own heart, a signal. If you are afraid, come out. If you are awake, come out and level up. Begin again. Dynamite the dam on the floor. Your body feels the talk, talk, talk of time as it hammers. Lord, we are all cinders from a fire burning long ago. But here it is, the knock, knock, knock of your own heart that matters. If you are afraid, come forth. If you are alone, come forth now. Everybody here has loved and lost. So love and love again. Call it any name you need. Call it your 2.0, your rebirth, whatever. So long as you can feel it all. So long as all your doors are flung wide. Call it your day number one and the rest of it forever. If you're afraid, give more. If you're alive, give more now. Everybody here has seams and scars. So what let your faith die. Bring your wonder. Yes, you are only one. No, it is not enough. But if you lift your eyes, I am your brother. And this is all we need. And this is where we start. This is the day we breathe. This is the day no other.
Very powerful. Thank you again. And before closing words, I want to tell you that it's not only generous with her time, we offered to pay her. She said that she will match that payment if we want to give it to one of our partners in the community. So we're going to be giving $300 to Poder in Action, and Vienna is going to match that for us. So thank you even more for that generosity. We do want to invite you all to coffee hour after the service. The link is in the chat, will be on the final slide. Visitors, please come and join us where we can share our feelings, our thoughts about this, and catch up with each other. Our closing words are from the song. Yes, you are only one. No, it is not enough. But if you lift your eyes, I am your brother. And this is all we need. And this is where we start. This is the day we greet. This is the day. There is no other. Amen. Blessed be, and Ashe. Go in peace, go in love, and enjoy one more spine-tingling version of this song if you wish, or we will see you in coffee hour. Much love to you all.
So come out. You have been waiting long enough. You're done with all the talk, talk, talk. Nothing on the table.